Hello everybody, welcome back to the peptide lecture series. In today's lecture we are going to be covering the morelins, as I like to call them, Tesamorelin, Ipamorelin and Sermorelin. We're going to cover what they do, what they were initially developed for, and yeah, let's just jump right into it. So what do they do? Very broadly, the morelins, quote unquote, are synthetic growth hormone releasing hormone analogues. So what does that mean? They are not growth hormone injections. They are injections designed to get your body to make more growth hormone. So they're meant to work by stimulating the release of growth hormone from the pituitary, and theoretically, this should bypass some of the less pleasant side effects of exogenous growth hormone, like insulin resistance and acromegaly, but it's not always the case. So let's go with probably the most commonly used one, Tesamorelin. It's a synthetic GHRH analog um, designed to mimic the biological growth hormone pulses in the body. You call that a secretagogue. It was originally developed and approved for HIV-associated lipodystrophy, specifically the excess visceral fat subtype. How's it made up? It's made of a 44 amino acid peptide based on the structure of GHRH with a trans 3 hexanoic acid group attached to the tyrosine molecule. Um, the reason for the hexanoic acid group is to resist enzymatic degradation, increase its half-life, make it actually able to be injected, and have a more potent action at the receptors. That's how it's meant to work. It's a once daily subcutaneous injection entering the circulation and reaching the anterior pituitary. It binds to the receptor on your pituitary somatotrophic cells to increase the release of growth hormone vesicles. This, in turn, increases growth hormone secretion in a more natural pulsatile pattern than the sudden, sharp increase of an exogenous growth hormone injection. It then acts on the liver, muscle, fat, bone, and skin. And the liver primarily responds by increasing IGF-1. Growth hormone release then preferentially increases visceral fatty lipolysis and helps stimulate free fatty acid oxidation. Common side effects of Tesamorelin are, like with growth hormone itself, water retention, joint stiffness, carpal tunnel syndrome, insulin resistance, tingling headaches, and injection site reactions. The limitations of this is that to maximize the results, namely weight loss or body recomposition, you still need calories, you still need protein, you still need to resistance train and have good sleep quality. Else, you're pretty much wasting your money. Then we get Ipamorelin. It's a synthetic pentapeptide growth hormone secretagogue that stimulates growth hormone release by activating ghrelin, or the ghrelin receptor, called GHSR1A. It's designed to increase growth hormone with a less stimulation of prolactin and cortisol. Think of it more like a ghrelin mimetic. It mimics the effect of ghrelin than a secretagogue like Tesamorelin. Um, so the structure, say 5 amino acid long peptide that's been modified to improve receptor selectivity, resist degradation, increase potency and effect, and have a longer half-life. How it's meant to work? Daily subcutaneous injection, usually 100 to 300 micrograms 2 to 3 times per day, which for most people is a little impractical. It enters the bloodstream where it reaches your pituitary and hypothalamus, which then binds to your ghrelin receptor to increase intracellular signaling, cause calcium ion influx, and cause your somatotroph activation to cause a growth hormone pulse. Then again, it acts on the liver to produce IGF-1 and lipolysis, and then it's also good for tissue repair signaling and has potential to help support lean mass growth or retention at least. Side effects: water retention, headaches, tingling, fatigue, increase in appetite, specifically because it is working on the ghrelin receptor. Ghrelin is your hunger hormone. So the more stimulated the ghrelin receptor is, the hungrier you are. And then insulin resistance because of the high IGF-1 chronically over time. As with Tesamorelin, it still needs good sleep, caloric control, adequate protein, and resistance training. Then we get Sermorelin. It's a synthetic analog of GHRH. It's a shortened active fragment of the naturally occurring human hormone. It again works upstream at your pituitary to stimulate GH release. It's made of the first 29 amino acids of growth hormone releasing hormone. I was going to say something that I cannot remember right now. Anyway, because it is a short and active fragment of the natural hormone, it's the closest thing you get to injecting growth hormone without injecting growth hormone. So Sermorelin gives you you're injecting the signal for more growth hormone. With growth hormone, you are injecting the product. And with Ipamorelin and Tesamorelin, you are injecting a signal to give another signal to say, hey, make more. So how does Sermorelin meant to work? A subcutaneous injection binds to the anterior pituitary somatotrophic cells, which activates your GS protein, which activates adenylate cyclase, which raises your CAMP, which raises protein kinase A, causes calcium channel influx, and causes growth hormone release, which again then leads to IGF-1 increase and lipolysis. Side effects: commonly injection site reactions for this one, water retention, flushing, and chronically elevated IGF-1. This needs a working pituitary and still needs good sleep quality, resistance training, adequate protein intake. Our dosing strategies for these: Tesamorelin is normally 1.4 to 2 milligrams subcutaneously once daily, typically in the evening. Ipamorelin 100 to 300 micrograms subcutaneously 2 to 3 times per day. And Sermorelin 200 to 500 micrograms subcutaneously once daily, typically in the evenings as well. That is essentially a little summary of the Morelins, part of the peptide series. As always, not all of these peptides that we discuss in these lectures are FDA approved. So always never do anything without the advice and consent of your doctor. Yeah, thank you for listening. We'll see you in the next one.